Welcome to Soulful Jewish Living, Mindful Practices for Every Day with me, Josh Feigelson. I'm grateful you're here, and I hope you benefit from our time together. Among the many things I love about my wife is something she can't control. She was born and raised in Canada. I went on plenty of trips to Canada as a kid growing up in Michigan, but I got a whole other kind of education marrying into the culture. I learned new words like Timbits, the Tim Hortons equivalent of Munchkins at Dunkin' Donuts, and beaver tails, fried pastry that I grew up calling an elephant ear. There was the fact that her version of the American Revolution is all about the Tories, the guys who stayed on the side of the British. It's like a whole other country. But most of all, there was the culture of Canadian politeness, which is epitomized in a joke. How do you find a Canadian in a room full of people? Start stepping on toes until one apologizes. On the basis of that joke, early in our relationship, Natalie and I created a ritual when we needed to apologize and forgive each other, which, no matter how in love you are, is going to happen when you get married. In our ritual, the person being apologized to would step on the toe of the apologizer, who would then say, "I'm sorry," but like a Canadian, "I'm sorry." And oftentimes, since both of us would need to apologize and forgive, each of us would have a turn. Years later, it still works for us. I'm sharing this rather intimate detail of my marriage because we're up to the 8th episode in our mini-series on family, and this week our focus is on forgiveness. This is an important topic in all relationships, of course, but it's especially important in families. Why? Because we live with family members in a very different way than other people. We're often physically and emotionally closer with family, and that creates more opportunities for stepping on each other's toes in a bad way. There are simply more opportunities to mess up, and thus an even greater need for apology and forgiveness. Now, there are a bazillion Jewish teachings on this topic. We have the value of shalom bayit, keeping peace in our homes, which our tradition recognizes as super important. We have the ways that the Bible imagines the relationship between us and God as a relationship between a parent and a child or between a married couple, and the ways we use those metaphors to work through apology and forgiveness on Yom Kippur and throughout the year. On one level, apology and forgiveness seems to be all about family. On another level, I think it's important to think about how all of this operates within ourselves. How are we too hard on ourselves, and thus we need to forgive ourselves? Or how might we sometimes excuse our own behavior and need to be more honest about what we need to change? So here's a practice that can help. It focuses on one specific broken family relationship. And as we frequently say on this show, this is meant to be helpful. If you find this too overwhelming for this particular relationship or this particular moment, then don't use it. Or if you find that working on this relationship requires more than this practice, please consult with a therapist or other professional. The practice uses the rhythm of the hand to ground us and help us recognize that repair starts with our own willingness to change. Step 1 is called the inner naming. First, focus on the person. Close your eyes and bring the person you want to forgive or seek forgiveness from to mind. Don't dwell on the wrong. Just hold their image. Next, name what's broken. See if you can silently acknowledge the tension or conflict at root here. For instance, you might say, "My relationship with so-and-so is currently fractured over this issue." After that, name your obstacle. Identify the one quality you need more connection to when approaching this person. For instance, I need some more anava, right-sized humility, to apologize. Or I need some more savlanut, patience, to listen. Or I need some more chesed, compassion for their pain. Now the second step, and this is where the hand comes in. Hold your hand open in front of you. Each of the 5 fingers represents a simple, actionable commitment to break the cycle of conflict. First, the thumb, which is your anchor. You might say to yourself, I will anchor myself in the present moment, resisting the urge to replay past wrongs. Then the index finger, pointing inward. I will point inward, accepting my own part in the dynamic, however small. This is the practice of anava, balanced humility. Then the middle finger, holding distance. I will create a sacred distance between their reaction and my response. This is the practice of savlanut, or patience. Fourth, the ring finger, which represents the bond. I will remember the bond that connects us, which is deeper than the conflict that may separate us. And finally, the pinky, which is the small step. I will commit to one small, gentle step toward repair today. A brief text, a silent blessing, or a kind thought. And finally, the third step. Close this practice by reciting a simple, mindful blessing. Something like this. May the love and peace I seek for my family begin with the intention and patience I hold in my own heart. Baruch atah Hashem oseh hashalom. Blessed are you, Eternal One, who makes peace. Blessings for the journey. Know that I'm on it with you. Thank you for joining us for Soulful Jewish Living, Mindful Practices for Every Day, a production of Unpacked, a brand of OpenDor Media, and the Institute for Jewish Spirituality. This episode is sponsored by Jonathan and Corey Califer and the Somerset Patriots, the Bridgewater, New Jersey-based AA affiliate of the New York Yankees. If you like this show, subscribe, share this episode with a friend, and give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. Check out our website, unpacked.media, for everything Unpacked related, and subscribe to our other podcasts. And check out the Institute for Jewish Spirituality. Most importantly, be in touch about what you heard today, what you'd like to hear more about, or to dedicate an episode. Write to me at josh@unpacked.media. This episode was hosted by me, Rabbi Josh Feigelson. Audio was edited by Rob Pera, and were produced by Rivki Stern. Thanks for joining us.